year will be given by Mr. David Fansler. Mr. Fansler is completing his third and final year teaching physical science, chemistry, physics, and robotics at Greenfield School. This being his third retirement, he will officially become a professional retiree. Mr. Fansler has a bachelor's degree in natural science and teaching from Campbell University and a Master of Arts in teaching with the focus of physics from UNC Chapel Hill. After 4 years of teaching in the 1970s, he left the education field and entered the science industry, spending most of his time working for Roche Biomedical Reference Labs, designing medical instrumentation. The last instrument he designed was an automated aliquot system, which took 5 years to develop and earned him 3 patents. This instrument is still being sold worldwide more than 20 years later. Mr. Fansler re-entered the education field in 2003, working first in Greene County for a year, and then in Wilson County for 14 years before retiring in January 2016. He joined the faculty of Greenfield in August of 2016. About his third retirement, Mr. Fansler says, because of the wonderful students at Greenfield, this retirement will be the most difficult yet. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming tonight's speaker, Mr. David Fansler.
Graduates, family members, board members, Ms. Peters, Mr. Reynolds, wherever you are, fellow faculty members, and Ms. Beeman looking down from on high, good evening. To our chairman of the board, I thank you for your kind words. Anyone ever wonder where those words come from? The person I wrote them. I had no idea. I was going to give a special recognition to my mother. She was going to be with us tonight. She'll be 95 next week, but she suffers a little bit from Alzheimer's, and getting out at night is something that she doesn't like a whole lot. So anyway, I still love her. I do have my wife here with me, Mary, and I recognize her for putting up with me. And also F.D. Franks is here tonight. He's the principal at Beddingfield High School, and without a doubt, the best principal I ever had. Now, before any of you get upset and say that, well, I'm leaving Ms. Peters out, she's not a principal. She's a headmaster, and she is the best headmaster, well, the only headmaster I've ever had. It's truly my honor to have been asked by this year's graduating class to be their commencement speaker. I came to Greenfield 3 years ago, and this, as Dr. Med stated, will be my last year of teaching. It seems fitting that as I retire, I was asked to speak for the class that I started with that is also leaving. Dawn Pill and I have a special relationship with the graduating class. She and I started working at Greenfield the same year, and we had this wonderful group of students for our home rooms. They were 10th graders then. I taught the administration and let Dawn and I have the same students for homeroom as they became juniors. This was the year we really began to grow close to them. We had bake sales. We sold car wash tickets. We had the first annual father-daughter dance, and finally we put on what was described as one of the best proms in many years. The same year, I had all but one of this graduating class for chemistry. Teresa Hadley was still hanging out on Overcook Island collecting seashells and surfing. But she joined us this year and made sure that I got to teach chemistry to everyone in this class. Last year, Cubby Denton gave me a book entitled Quantum Physics for Babies. I read this book at the chemistry classes, and it was a resounding hit. My wife Mary ended up buying me the entire set of books, and we read them all last year. The books did a wonderful job of explaining things like quantum entanglement for babies, rocket science for babies, Newtonian physics for babies, general relativity for babies, electromagnetism, statistical physics. The one that I had a hard time with, I think the students got better than I did, was quantum information for babies. I'm not sure I ever got the hold of that one. So anyway, when I was asked to be the commencement speaker, I started pondering what to do for my commencement speech. And so I came up with the idea for graduation for babies. Having not been a school teacher my entire life, I have experience with the real world. And one of my teaching goals was to include life lessons from the real world. So here are some of those life lessons in book form. So at this time, I'd like to invite the graduating class to come down and have a seat on the stairs, and let me read a book to you one last time. I'm in y'all's way, I'm sorry. Y'all all remember how these books started, don't you? This is the ball. In chemistry, we learned that the ball could be different things. The ball has mass, like everything. Some of us have too much. The ball has energy. I'm losing that. The ball may be neutral or have a charge. The ball feels the effects of gravity. Ball was probably one of the first words you learned, probably before you were 1 year old. Now, 17 years later, you've learned enough to graduate from high school. But do you know what to expect from life? There's no merit badge for being an adult. Oops. The first thing you need to understand is life is hard. There's no magic pill for life. There are pills, but they don't work. Not for your job, your marriage, your financial woes, or your children. Be leery of shortcuts. Sometimes they lead to unforeseen consequences. Never burn your bridges behind you. You never know when you might need them again. Girls, find a guy who loves his mother. That's how a man learns to treat a woman. Guys, find a girl who loves her father. That is how a woman learns to treat a man. If you find yourself arguing a lot with your boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage will be just more of the same. Having a baby to fix a marriage only makes the marriage more stressful. A couple from England who had been married for 80 years, when asked what was the secret of the marriage, the man answered, "Yes, dear." Love your parents while you can. Enjoy the time that you have with them. Okay, start putting money away for retirement the first day of your job. Don't wait. Pay cash for everything you buy. Don't get trapped by credit cards. Debit cards are okay because it comes out of credit or your checking account. Don't play with credit cards. Learn who Dave Ramsey is and follow his advice of financial freedom. Serious. Find a hobby. People with hobbies live longer. The average human will stop growing about the age of 24. Riley, you still got hope. The average American will gain 10 years, or 10 pounds for every 10 years after the age of 30. Watch how you eat and exercise. Integrity. doing the right thing when nobody's looking. One of my wife's favorite statements, there are no rewards for bad behavior, but there are consequences. Being happy in your job is more important than how much it pays. Y'all remember this one, don't you? Never mix cleaning products, because more than likely chlorine gas is going to be released. At a minimum, you'll get pneumonia. At a maximum, it'll kill you. Rotate your tires every 6,000 miles, unless they're staggered. Do y'all know what that means? The front ones and the back ones are different sizes, so it was stupid. There will be times when you feel all alone. Share with a friend always makes life better. If even with friends you feel alone, consider this. You're too fast, Robert. Our galaxy contains about 400 billion stars. If only 1% of those stars are similar to our sun, then there are 4 billion stars capable of sustaining life. If only 1% of those stars have planets capable of sustaining life, then there's 40 million Earth-like planets. If only 1% of those planets have life, that leaves 400,000 planets in our galaxy with life. There's an estimated 200 billion galaxies in the universe. So if you multiply 200 billion times 400,000, that gives you a really big number of planets with life in the universe. And that number is 80 quadrillion planets that could have life on it. Don't go fast. So there you have it. All the important things I know to pass on about growing up. In conclusion, live, laugh, and love, but most of all have what? Come on, say it. A ball. It's been my pleasure to talk to y'all. You know I love you all. If you want to go Salem, you know where I am. I got the time. There's a copy of this book back in the reception area for each one of you to take with you. So don't leave it behind or I'll be broke. So anyway, thank you a lot.